Peace, 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 and welcome into the latest and the greatest episode of Men of a Certain Age, The Soup. As always, I'm Fro, and I got my man Panero. We rolling Ace Deuce. We saying shout out, super dupe shout out to UH, Donnell, and the ATL. Get well soon, my boy. We'll see you next episode. But we rolling Ace Deuce here today, Panero. What's
What's
good
good?
with
Yo, some call me P and others slow flower. That's what you gave me earlier. Brothers on my jock for the way I hold a piece
you?
of
Still.
steel.
So
What
what
you
you saying?
saying? Yo, I want to give a super shout out to my grandma. Rest in heaven. Friday was her birthday. She passed in 2022. She would have been 100 years old Friday.
Rest in peace, old earth.
Right. That's right.
That's love right there, Lord. That's love. You know what I mean? Man, let's get to this soup, man. It's cooking, it's boiling hot with blue and orange skies in it right now, Lord. We are down 0-2 right now against the Indiana Pacers.
Uh,
1-2 Indy to game three. What is your thoughts? What happened in game one? In game two? It's been a minute since we built upon it. Man, let me know what your thoughts are.
First of all, us blowing game one, being up 14 is a coaching thing to me. I'm not sure. I don't know what Tibbs is doing, man. I don't know if he's being out coached or if he's overthinking himself. But I don't think in the history of the league has anyone blown such a lead in the fourth to end up losing the game. And then the shot that Halliburton hit, crazy travel. He traveled. I don't know where the refs is at. Then the joint bounce all off the rim and then go in, and then he got the nerve to give us the Reggie Miller choke symbol. Come on, man. I was heated.
All I can say is, as this whole thing unfolded here, as we're watching right now, it was a moment of disbelief. I couldn't believe what the Knicks were doing in this moment, and I also couldn't believe the luck that the Pacers had.
Right.
For that ball to be shot by Halliburton to go straight up. But I'm gonna tell you this, Lord, straight up and down, like 6 o'clock. When he shot that ball and that ball went up, I knew it in the back of my mind that it was gonna come back down through. It was the way it bounced. It bounced straight up. It didn't bounce to the right or bounce
Right.
to the left. It went straight up, and I was like, man, that joint. And it blocked right through there, man.
See,
And then,
my thought was the opposite, fam. I'm thinking, okay, it's off. Because it bounced. I'm like, it's a wrap. And then I looked again because I'm at the job on the tablet watching it. So I'm back and forth. When I looked at the shot, I was giving people that I was taking care of one of these. Hold on, man. Yeah, something more important than you what's going on right now. And then the joint bounced up. I'm like, oh, that's off. Then I looked again. I said, no. That joint went through, man. I was instantly sick. My stomach was hurting after that.
man, and this Neesmith, man, at the
Yeah.
point that the man hit two threes in a row, we gotta not let him get a good look at the basket. Here it is, and that was a foul that wasn't called right there on Carl
Right.
Anthony. But at the point that this dude done hit, here he go, he jacking again. Let's come on. That's like number four right there, B. And
And
that
how many did he hit in a row?
six.
6 in a row, fam. And you don't get somebody in his chest after the second one.
And this was crazy. That whole thing is like how OG didn't get that ball, man, and go up with that. How what what is going on? Look at this.
Yeah.
What was,
Come on.
what was he looking at?
Yeah.
He missed the ball. Was he looking
Like I,
at Siakam?
like I said earlier, I know that Siakam is his man's and them from Toronto, but you got to put all that aside, man. You can't let him get in your head. I saw the meme earlier you put in, and I am the captain.
Right.
Siakam hit what I am the captain now.
Here he go
It's
again.
hilarious, but it's true. He's in their head. And in game two, he came out on fire. Siakam.
Neesmith.
Oh,
We up two.
Go ahead, fam.
I thought he threw that away. That was great hustle by Josh Hart. And then we do this.
Right. So
make your free throw, man.
Yeah. Everything is important in the Eastern Conference Finals. Here we go.
All right. So boom. OG at the line. We up 1. If he hit both of them, they need a 3 to
tie.
Right?
Yeah.
So boom. So let it roll. There's the miss.
Right.
Makes the second.
Travel.
Straight up.
But Fro, I'm saying though, I know it's a lot of step back and nowadays NBA blase splee, but you can't tell me that wasn't no travel, man. The way he came back, it's like he ran back to the line without dropping the ball.
They do not call travel in
crucial situations like this, though.
Were you saying the travel? Because he go into the paint, did he come out?
Okay. He go in, we come out, then he pick it up, and then I don't know, it looked like he took a few steps before he shot the ball, man. But that's me being a Knicks fan. I'm biased. Travel. Come on, man. Wave it off. And tonight is the night like Betty White, man.
But listen, though. OG make his fucking free throws, they lose.
Exactly. You got to make your throws, man.
Make your free throws, they lose. Obviously, they go into OT, and we lose in OT, man.
Right. By OT, I was nodding off. I had to listen to it. But once he hit that shot, I was like, man.
Before we continue on, how are you feeling about game 3 tonight in Indy? What's your thoughts?
AZ had an album called Do or Die. This is Do or Die. We backed into a corner. So I think we are capable, obviously. We're capable of winning the game. I think sometimes I said earlier that sometimes the pressure of the Garden can get to the Knicks a little bit also. So maybe being on the road, they can focus more. And I think they'll knock Indiana off. Without it, I don't think it's going to be an issue today, to be honest with you. I'm extremely confident.
So what I'm hearing through the grapevine is that Mitch is starting and Josh Hart is coming off.
They're going with the Twin Tower look?
And going with Mitch in the starting lineup, and they bringing Josh off the bench. He gonna come 6-man. And you look at those minutes Mitch has been on the floor. They don't have no answer for him on the board
Right.
that he's doing. And those second shots is what's been killing the Knicks.
And plus, doesn't he bring length to it also to the floor when it comes to, because Siakam, they don't want him getting off the first 11 points like he did last game, starting to get smoking hot. I started to call him Hot Plate. I said, come on, man, he hot like a plate out there, man. But yeah, I think that might be, sometimes I think Tibbs can overthink things, but that sounds like a good idea.
So that's just one of the adjustments they're thinking about. Hopefully it'll pay dividends. And like we talked about in the pre-show, Knicks are definitely capable of coming out of Indy, going back to the Garden 2-2.
2-2, yeah.
More than capable of being that. They just got to put it together, man, and believe. I like to see Jalen move the ball a little bit more. That's my only critique in his game is that his assists, he need to be averaging in the season at least 8 to 9.
I was gonna say 7 at least. Yeah.
8 to 9 assists for me, because you the PG and you got a good enough team that you can feed them cats a little bit more. But that's my only critique about it.
But Fro, it's a double-edged sword with that, because he's their scorer also. Yeah. So in his mind, he got to get 30, and then distribute the ball at the same time. So it's in his mind, I got to get these buckets and I can't drop it off, but then I am the PG and I have to drop it off. It's a catch-22 because when he scores and we win, we loving him.
Yeah, I'm not saying sacrifice your scoring for dishing the rock. Just, man, let them other cats touch that pill. That's why they say in game 2, not game 2, but game 1, when he was in the foul trouble and he had to sit and they went up like by 14. Also,
the ball was moving. Yeah.
Fucking dancing ass Cameron Payne as we demand. Listen, man, we can't have you to be, even though this is who he is. So that's the reason why you get on the edge of your seat when he get in the game. Like one time, man, he dribbled down the court 100 miles an hour and dribbled the ball out of bounds and fell out of bounds.
Turnover.
Hey, what are you doing? Mom, you've been in the league entirely too long for your game to be that wild and inconsistent. I can see Deuce doing some crazy shit like that, but this like 8th, 9th year, for this captain, if not 10th. When he was on them OKC teams.
Yes, he was.
So this probably like his 11th, 12th year. He's still doing it. Come on, man.
Yeah.
And another way I look at this, though, Lord, and we're gonna move off the Knicks after this. They don't fuck around and get to the championships. There's moves to be made for
yeah. Hey, coaching moves.
Not only coaching moves.
Yeah, player moves. Yeah.
Because that cat up in Milwaukee, I like to get to the apple.
And we would love that. The skies will be much oranger and much bluer if we had the Greek freak here. Man,
listen, as I say, I was telling my brother yesterday, I was like, I'm looking at it as I always do, as a realist. I'm a fan, but I'm a realistic fan.
Right.
So you can call me a Rand. R-A-N. I'm a Rand.
You're a Rand, realistic fan. Yeah.
That's me. You know what I mean? It's like, they don't get to the championship. They get to the championship. It's hard to make the changes if they get to the championship. But if they don't get to the championship, there are moves to be made.
It's justifiable to make moves, no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one to think about, man. And that's we got to have it tonight. Again, as Paulo Creed told Rocky in 3, there is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
That's right.
So shout out to the Knicks. But before we get off the playoff talk, Lord, let's go out west. We got to hit west one time. Ant-Man them needed it last night.
And they got it too. Wow.
And live in them. Yeah. OKC needed an ass kicking like that because they've been kicking everybody else's ass like that. Right. They blew out Memphis like that. They damn near blew Memphis out like by 60 or some old crazy. Some old
unwatchable shit.
Yeah, man. What are we doing out here? But they was due to get, I don't know if they was due to get slapped like that because
I expect the Knicks to do something like that today, to be honest with you. It's just to come out and just run, boys. But again, out to the West we go. I wasn't expecting OKC to take a beating like this. Sometimes when you're at home, depending on the type of team you are, you get that energy. And you got a guy like Ant Live who energizes everyone.
What about this cat, though, Lord? Was it all he needed to do was to get out the city for him to be unlocked, Julie?
A lot of people can't play in the city, fam. And he's better there because the spotlight might be too bright for him in New York. Everybody can't be like Bernard, Melo, Brunson. They play better in the spotlight. Some dudes don't. The city could be a lot, man. And then we knew he had talent. We just didn't like the fact that he was handling the ball so much up here, man. Man, pass the ball, man. You ain't no PG. You think you Ant Mason? You ain't Ant Mason. Rest in peace, Ant Mason, one of my favorite players, man. You ain't got no Mason handle. What you running up the floor for, man? But he know his role in Minnesota.
He yacked this joint, though.
Yeah, man.
He yacked that one.
And then with Cat coming in, I was skeptical. I'm like, man, I don't know about Karl Anthony Towns, man, getting rid of Randall. But again, it looks like it's working out for us.
Yeah, like I said, I'm glad that they got a win, man. I didn't want to see them get bully footed out of there. But those was great points you was making about Jr. Julius Randle. Like you said, we all knew he had talent. Just didn't like that he thought he was fucking Scottie Pippen.
Man, who you think you are, man? See, and we missing DiVincenzo a little bit too. That was one of my favorite players, man.
White boy
Dante was one of my favorite players, man.
Dante ready to square up on a boy too.
He gonna fight you, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Him and got in it, got into it with them cats from Detroit. You know
Right.
what I mean? Yo, you're not gonna bully foot me, man.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm glad they got a win. You know that these boys is cousins, right?
Who that?
Walker Alexander and Shea Gilgeous Alexander.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, they put them on. They had a picture of them in their childhood. They look like two Canucks too. That's what they look like. Two young Canadians. That's what they look like. Like they just got finished eating a small round piece of bologna, calling it bacon. That's what they look like to me. I'm like, look at these two cats.
Canadian bacon, as you say. They definitely, but yeah, man, I found that real cool when I
that they actually made it to the league. Yeah.
First cousins and shit. Piece of them cats. And you know
No
what
doubt.
about Gilly getting that MVP one time down? How you felt about that?
Yeah, I felt like he deserved it. His game is just, I've said in other shows, he's got that slow old man mid-range. His game is just so smooth, and he deserves it. He has his team, because the MVP is the best player on the team that's going somewhere, obviously, and he's got his team in position to go to the finals. I think it's a good choice.
And Shea Gilly nice as hell. I've been giving him a hard time because he be looking like he has some lugs on out there hooping and shit in lugs.
They get out there hooping in lugs and jean shorts. His game is smooth though, you know. It's smooth. It's weird, but it's smooth.
I just don't like his feet. His feet work is what makes me mad.
Out there hooping in lottos.
Out there hooping in wallabies and shit.
Your man out there got some choked up felines out here balling and choked felines all the way to the top.
Boys is wild, man.
That's that Canadian style though, fam. That's how they roll.
Shea Gilly is nice. It's not the team. I just think maybe it's Oklahoma City. I just don't like Oklahoma City.
You said that, man. You rather see the Supersonics out there instead of OKC.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
They got a nice squad, though. They got a nice squad, and they've been balling. They've earned everything they've gotten so far. Shea Gilly had a hell of a year, but that damn Jokic averaged a triple-double, fam. You know what I'm saying?
You know how the politics go in the league.
Yeah,
it could have went either way.
But
they're trying to even it out here and there. The Joker deserved it also. Dude is phenomenal, man. He's a phenomenal player.
Yeah, it was Shea Gilly's turn to get the MVP, and he put the work in. That team had the best record in the league. Hopefully, I still say 6-7 in this series because I believe Minnesota gonna win tomorrow.
Tie it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say 7. I think both series will probably go 7. It's good for the league. It's good for viewership. Obviously, it's good for money for the league. But it's good to see these teams actually go at it. I don't know if you checked recently, but I know the ratings for the NBA are skyrocketing with these playoffs.
Leaders of the new school, as we talked about before.
Sir.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the NBA playoffs. It's definitely been fantastic. Watch-worthy games and whatnot. But as we continue on this episode of The Soup, man, we're going to keep it. We're still going to keep it sports-worthy right now. But this time, Lord, we're gonna bounce to Mr. RG3 and RC, Mr. Ryan Clark, and that whole situation. And again, in similar instances, it's basketball. This whole thing is pertaining. It's not basketball, I should say, because they brought race into it. Here it is. We live in America, so race is always going to be a part of it, whether we like it or not. But just is, because that's how they made it. So what I'm referring to is last week, the WNBA jumped off, and I'm not going to front. For the last 3 years, I've watched more women's basketball than I have in my lifetime since I've been watching basketball. And I enjoy the game because these women gets after it. It's way more physical than the NBA, believe it or not.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Because once the women's get a nerve get touched, it goes down somehow, some way. You might get tripped, you might catch a bow, or your hair might get yanked. It gets grisly, as they say. So, I'm saying all of that to say this. Last week, the WNBA, or the W as they refer to it, jumped off. So, of course, they're going to put the main attractions, when I say Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese plays for the Chicago Sky. Caitlin Clark plays for the Indiana Fever. So they jump off the season. So during the game, they balling. Tensions is high because they got a history of getting it on a la Bird Magic.
Yes, sir.
So during the game, there was a foul. So let's take a look at the foul first and foremost, and then we'll get into the whole G3 and Ryan Clark of it all. So you can see Indiana is up, which is Caitlin Clark, which is in the red. Okay, there's the foul. Now, it's no question Caitlin Clark pushed her. There's no question on that. And I'm going to give you a chance to see it. Angel Reese is like 6'4", Lord.
Right.
Now, if your arm extend, that's a push.
Right, of course.
So Angel pushed her out the way.
Right, right.
And then Caitlin Clark pushed her. So it's clear, right?
Yeah, it's definitely clear.
So the girl that came in right here, I'm pointing to, this is Aaliyah Boston.
Right.
She hooped at South Carolina. Shout out to the Lady Gamecocks. Former number one pick. So she comes to her teammates' defense as most
as she should. Yeah.
Would do. So she telling Angel to chill, right? So this instance is what sparks RG3 to have commentation on Angel Reese. So let's get into what RG3 had to say real quick. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it, Lord.
Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. You don't know, let me inform you about what happened. Caitlin Clark committed a hard foul on Angel Reese as she was wide open for a free, easy layup. Routine play. Every one of you that's watching has heard your coach tell you, hey, we ain't gonna give them no easy points, no easy baskets, no easy baskets in the paint, baby. So why do I think Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark? It could be the fact that Aaliyah Boston had to save Angel Reese from ending her career. This is a still shot. After the foul that Caitlin Clark put on Angel Reese tried to hit her. But if it wasn't for Aaliyah Boston putting her arms in the way, Angel Reese would not be playing basketball anymore because she was going to sucker punch Caitlin Clark. Now, you tell me a time when you've seen some.
Now, P, I played that video for you 2-3 times and different shots. At any point, did you see it look like Angel Reese was trying to throw a bolo at her?
Negatory.
So he takes a still frame shot that makes it look like she was gonna throw a blow and paints this picture.
In a professional league where they tried to almost sucker punch somebody that they were friends with because of a hard foul. I've seen LeBron James get fouled by Dwayne Wade, but it was a hard foul. LeBron didn't get up and try to smack him upside the head or hit him in the face from behind. That's what Angel Reese did to Caitlin Clark.
She didn't though.
Where was this type of reaction last year when Angel Reese got chokeslammed by Alyssa Thomas of the Connecticut Sun? Y'all remember that? So after watching the play, I tweeted out, after watching Caitlin Clark's flagrant foul on Angel Reese and the aftermath, there is no way Angel Reese can continue the lie that she doesn't dislike Caitlin Clark. I know what hatred looks like. Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. Not some basketball rivalry hate either. Hate.
So this is what he had to say, perspective of what Angel Reese is thinking, how she's feeling, how she's living off of that reaction. So RC responded to RG3. So let's check out RC.
RG3 called what Angel Reese did hate. He said you could see the hate on her face for Caitlin Clark. I'm not really sure when we moved in to being able to read the expressions of a person and know their intent, know their character, know their perspective. But he does understand hate because I think he also understands the hate of self.
Wow. Wow.
Don't drop it on them like that, RC.
Oh, God damn, Lord.
We need one of those bombs for the case. Yeah.
Got it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we.
And so now, though, when RG3 jumps on to the hate train or to the angry train, it now follows along with what we saw from Keith Olbermann, what we saw from Dave Portnoy, as they poured on to Angel Reese to make her the villain in Caitlin Clark's heroic or hero story.
Right.
The one thing we know about RG3 is he's not having conversations at his home about what Black women have to endure in this country, about what young Black women and athletes like Angel Reese have had to deal with being on the opposite side of Caitlin Clark's rise and ascension into stardom.
That's ESPN's Ryan Clark, and he went nuclear.
Just because Angel Reese is a Black woman doesn't mean that a Black man or a Black woman who happens to be an analyst can't give their opinion on her game. Just because Angel Reese is a Black woman doesn't mean that a Black man or a Black woman cannot critique her game. To be quite frank, a Black man or a Black woman can critique anybody's game just the
He's trying
same
to
as
flip it now,
a
though.
Black woman can critique anybody's game. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, regardless of the color of skin that somebody is. And if you don't like that opinion, that's fine. But it shouldn't resort to personal attacks. I just believe we got to be better in this space, man. Debate the game. That's fine. Debate the game.
On this guy, former NFL player and ex-ESPN analyst Robert Griffin III.
Caitlin Clark is the most important player in the WNBA. And a ton of her fandom has come along with some racial bias or some racial pieces to why people love her so much. And so now, if you're RG3, when is the last time within your household you've had a conversation about what she's dealing with? You haven't been able to do that because in both of your marriages, you've been married to white women. You haven't had opportunities to have those conversations to educate you on what they're feeling, what Black women deal with, what they're seeing when they think of a young Angel Reese. And the whole time that he's mimicking Angel Reese and bobbing his head and moving his neck while he's doing this whole piece, his wife is in the back amening and clapping.
Clark's rebuttal was to RG3's upload on his YouTube channel, Out of Pocket with RG3, and also this. After watching Caitlin Clark's flagrant foul on Angel Reese and the aftermath, there is no way Angel Reese can continue the lie that she doesn't dislike Caitlin Clark, wrote Griffin from his official Twitter account. I know what hatred looks like. Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. Not some basketball rivalry hate either. Hate. And he would be checked by many in sports media, including longtime writer Chuck Modiano. Not merely a bad take, given who you are, it's journalistic malpractice, even if just a tweet. If you missed last year, You know there is a sizable racist, delusional Caitlyn mob that has produced endless hate and death threats to a and you are pouring gasoline on all that, feeding a monster. Why don't you see how far this goes beyond hoops? Reese is a vehicle and receptacle for mobs of white fans to dump their hatred for black women onto. That's not an opinion, and you are putting her in greater harm's way. Clark would continue on his show, The Pivot Podcast, as it pertains to RG3.
When I worked with RG3, he would make all of these sort of corny jokes about milk and how much he loved it and how important it was. And he always points out on social media the color of his wife's skin, as if.
Let me get that back. Let me get that back. RG3 been a sucker, man.
Cast as it pertains to RG3.
When I worked with RG3, he would make all of these sort of corny jokes about milk and how much he loved it and how important it was. And he always points out on social media the color of his wife's skin, as if the color of her skin is what makes her special, as if the color of her skin is what makes her a good wife. I've met the lady, I've had a conversation with her. Right. I think she's more than that. But it also leads to what Black women deal with a lot from Black men who have chose to date or marry outside of their race. They always feel like they have to go the extra mile to prop up the woman that they're married or the woman that they're with over Black women by denigrating Black women. I feel like we should have an opportunity to move past that and understand that Angel Reese can be great in her own right, as Caitlyn Clark is as well. Caitlyn Clark is a likable and lovable superstar. She pays homage to the stars of the past. She pays homage to the Black women that have come before her. And now she is carrying the mantle forward. So there's no need to pin those two against each other and paint them based on stereotypical tropes.
On that milk point, by the way, Clark is not lying. Take a look. Because even if one did not work with Griffin in Bristol, Connecticut, one glance at his Twitter would verify Ryan Clark's claims. Here he is, online, referring to his wife as milk. It is a direct reference to her skin color, let's be clear. Now, RG3 continues to state, hey, back off, man. Don't make it personal, man. I was giving a sports opinion. But what he does not comprehend appears to show his severe blind spot as an analyst. Griffin would give a very lengthy response, but many aren't buying it, including Kev, who wrote, RG3 can save it. His critique about Angel Reese was not simply a sports take. It had undertones in it that led to what Ryan Clark ultimately said. You can't use having a wife of a different race for content and jokes and then get mad when someone calls it out. Right. After his tweet and video, Ryan Clark would respond via Twitter once more. Bro, you know what it is with me and you. I saved you the entire season on Monday Night Football. I urged people to let you be you. No matter how corny, how bad a teammate you were, I had your back. What did you do? Invite someone on your show I don't fool with to ask questions about me and then hit me weeks later to tell me you're going to challenge one of my takes. You're a phony, bro. One of the worst teammates I ever had, both on the field and in TV. You got to do what you got to do. I didn't attack your wife. I spoke on what you do on social media and television. Like I said, I met your wife, and she seemed like a lovely lady that was worth more than the color of her skin. Exactly. You be good, bro. Where I think RG3 severely misses the mark, and
that happened last week. Like I said, the season jumped off last weekend. That game happened last Saturday. RG3 immediately put the tweet out and then went to his podcast to voice it, with his
Sitting in the
background
uh,
with her pom poms. So let me just say what I gotta say about RG3. And when I knew RG3 wasn't a real one, and this may be superficial on my part, but I'm gonna tell you when I had
when you saw it.
yeah, this dude is sus. This goes back to when he was at Baylor
Mm.
and he was doing an interview at the podium. And at this time, he had his braids and he had his braids down, and he did the white boy to move his hair out his head. When I saw that, I was like, huh?
It's the subtleties, huh, fam?
This man, only people I've ever seen do that is a certain type of person. You know what I mean? So when I seen that, I was like, this dude is sus. And then as I continue to watch his movements, he would always kind of try to be within the culture, try to be straddle the line
On
of
the
being
fence, yeah.
in the culture and being the straight guy. I just think the man is way off base in what he was saying and what he's doing. You love who you love.
Without a doubt.
You do what you do. But for you to be out here really, like Ryan was saying, I don't get it. Your jokes about milk
Nope.
and all that, man, keep that shit to you. I might have had to tell him that shit ain't funny, man.
Right.
When I could see what RC was saying when he was like, I saved you plenty of times, because a lot of folks look at him and say, man, every brother ain't a brother. And you, my friend, you just ain't a brother. You know what I'm saying? So I get what RC is saying when he's talking about I saved you plenty of times, because they out there and across the country doing the shows and live in the stadiums and
Right.
stuff like that. But man, he's a sucker, man, and I'm glad that I keep saying RC spoke up, because a lot of brothers aren't. And that's the next thing we gonna get into. What's your thoughts on this whole situation right here?
Yeah, I think RG3 he's slowly morphing into Jason Whitlock. I think he's looking, and I think he's purposely to fill that spot. And the thing about it is, we have family members that have white women in their lives, and you love who you love. But the thing is, those family members that we have that have white women in their lives as wives, they don't denigrate other black women. So it's like they know what they love, but it's not because of the color of their skin. It's because of the person that person is. So RG3 has some type of a weird fetish and a large amount of self-hate, it seems to me, is why he acts the way he acts and he does the things he does. It's weird. And we always say here a men of a certain age that,
How could you ever
we're not a monolith, but you don't have to denigrate a black woman to uplift a white woman. If that's what you love, that's what you love. It is what it is.
And RC went out of his way recently to actually apologize for even bringing his wife into the conversation. And I agree with him. He could have said what he said without even mentioning
His
his
family.
wife. It wasn't anything degrading that he said about his wife. He just mentioned her, and he even gave her flowers.
Gave her props, by saying she's more than just her skin color.
She's a lovely woman. So let's get into this whole RC apology thing that he went into.
Instead of pointing to what non-black women can't do or don't do, or the conversations I don't feel like they can have, I should have pointed to what having a positive black woman in the household could do. Think back to Alexis Ohanian when he was on our show. He talked about being married to Serena Williams and the things that he has learned through not only the conversations they've had, but through the life they've experienced. He brought us back to childbirth. Many of us know how high the mortality rates are in this country for black women. But clearly that wouldn't extend to Serena Williams. That wouldn't also include one of the world's greatest athletes of all time, but it did. and it taught him a lesson. I feel like those lessons are invaluable in understanding, in feeling, in being empathetic to what Black women go through. Alexis has now become a champion in support of not only Black women, but all women. Alexis has now become one of the leading voices in pushing women to the forefront. He's also become one of the leading voices in understanding the need to protect Black women. See, it is those conversations, it is those opportunities and experiences that change you. It doesn't mean you can't get them from your mother. Doesn't mean you can't get them from your sister. As a man who is close to his family and has a mom and has a sister, I know we don't speak every day, even if I should be better. I know I don't share with them constantly about what they're going through. But you do know when you have a woman in your household, when you're married, when it's your significant others, those are the conversations you have daily, and those conversations can change you. So it's not about what a non-Black woman can't bring. It's about the clarity. It's about the levity. It's about the level of understanding and conditioning that having a Black woman around can bring. It doesn't mean that's the way you have to choose. You love who you love. And I believe that everybody's created in God's image. But in that person will shape your experiences.
Again, Lord, just listening to RC, and I'm going to say this: RC was a good athlete, good football player. He's a real introspective dude, man.
Yeah.
You can see that he's a real intelligent brother, and he got caught up in the moment of defending a Black woman when he went at RG like that about Angel Reese. It also don't hurt that Angel Reese went to LSU too. You know what I'm saying? So let's put that on the record. But I'm also saying we listened to RC build on this topic with RG, and just this little conversation he was having with Fred and Channing about Serena's husband and Serena educating him so that he understands the plight of a Black woman. You know what I mean? Because my man, you got two Black women. You got you got two daughters, so you got two Black women to take care of and nurture for. So you better understand what comes with that. And you know, would I had rather seen Serena marry Common or a brother? Of course. But you want her ultimately to marry whoever is going to love her and treat her the way she needs to be treated. But
Right.
again, salute to her for even educating, making sure that if this who I'm going to be with, he going to have to understand some things. Secondly, about RC, I could see RC running for president before Stephen A. Just off of his conversation, his intellect, his perspective on things. And that just goes to show how nonsensical that whole shit is. And I know I'm off topic, but just listening to him just then, I was like, this is somebody that you willing to listen to, right?
You're willing to listen to, and you're willing to vote for if that was the case. I remember there was a time where Stephen A would be somewhat battling with RC because he felt RC thinks he's more articulate than me. It has nothing to do with articulation. You can articulate some bullshit. The thing is, RC is articulating something real. Like with what he was saying about Serena Williams' daughters, even though they have a white father, society already is, they're Black to society. So she has to educate her husband on what they're going to have to deal with, regardless of what you look like. Because once they get that drop in them, society is going to label them as Black women. And they're going to have to deal with issues when it comes to Black women. And I salute Serena for doing that and not just being like, I got myself a white husband, so I'm going to just live a white life. But she understands, she has the full understanding that her children are have to go out in the world and they're going to be labeled as black women. And it's going to be difficult for them to deal with, and they need their father to help them deal with it. And it's good that she educated him on that. And the fact that Ryan Clark uses that as an example, as the antithesis to RG3, is just incredible. And it's deeper than the surface. And that's why I like the fact that you said, even if he was to attempt to run, it would spark my interest.
And that's it right there, Lord. It's a damn shame that black men, not all black men, but there's a portion of black men who hate black women. And I don't understand that. Why do you, as a black man, feel as though that you need to champion Caitlin Clark? Why? And then paint a black woman as the villain, even if Angel Reese accepts it. She like, man, I'm going to wear that hat because y'all gonna give it to me
anyway.
Regardless. So I might as well, instead of trying to fight it, I'm going to go ahead and embrace it and use it as fuel to be better at what I am, better at what I do. Before we get off of this, I want to show you a cut of another chunk.
Aries Spears right here. Yo, my beautiful black people, what up? It's your boy Aries Spears right here. Hey man, listen, I want to address this whole Caitlin Clark, Angela Reese thing. Black people, I love you. But for the love of God, knock it the fuck off. Stop making this about race. Oh, it be your own people, respect the black queen. Why you going after the sister? Hey, this is not about race. Let's play the race card and save it for when we really need it. Otherwise, this is a waste of race. This ain't about race. This is about ball. Who's good and who's not. That's it. So mix me with that black power bullshit.
It ain't never been about that.
Right? It's about one is good and the other one is hot garbage. All right? Caitlin Clark is bananas. Angel Reese is garbage. And maybe if she cared more about putting time in the gym instead of trying to be a runway model and be cute, we wouldn't have this conversation.
He's misinformed is what he is.
Very misinformed.
He's misinformed and he's an idiot.
You look musty, like you need to get a shower.
He does look like he smells bad.
You know what, man? You know what, son? I'm going to take it to 1987 one time for Aries Spears. You no good scavenger.
Fish vulture. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what? What are you talking about, B? And again, why are you coming out of nowhere? Why are you having a take and then talking about it? Just it doesn't make any sense.
He's looking for some attention. He's looking for some people to come down to the helium to see him. He's looking for whatever he can do to get some attention towards himself. What he said was stupid. Obviously, it's not just about basketball because, like you said earlier, race matters in this country no matter what. Angel Reese, he almost got me calling her Agatha. Angel Reese, not only does she work out during the summer, she plays in a whole different league in the summer. So she's continuously playing basketball. They play two different positions. So how are you comparing them? So it's not an issue to like Caitlin Clark's game. Like you, I've been watching some WNBA because it's intriguing because they only have a certain number of spots for these ladies to play. Right. So when they get in, they going at it hard because they feel like you're not going to come in here and just take
right.
It's not going to happen like that. And then they're women too, and women will fight. They will fight each other. They don't care. So you can like Caitlin Clark's game. I've seen her do some phenomenal things, but I'm not going to put down another player. I'm not going to put down another player to uplift Caitlin Clark because obviously I have love for myself and knowledge of myself to not do that to Angel Reese. It's disgusting.
How was somebody who averaged a double for their career?
Trash.
Come on, man. What is he talking about? It's sad, man. And again, why is this black man jumping on the internet attacking a black woman?
That's just unnecessary.
What did Nas say to Jay-Z and Ether? Did they abuse it? Did they call you ugly?
Yeah, what happened, man? What happened to you, man? Were you abused as a child, scared to smile? They called you ugly? What's wrong with you, B? Man, why you hating on me? You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Man, listen, that's a big
Fuck out of here.
Come on, Aries Spears, man. Come on, man.
yeah. But shout out to Angel Reese, man. Continue to hold your head, baby girl. Shout out to Caitlin Clark. You know what I mean? You're not asking for these Europeans to be out here hating on Angel Reese to what they do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You hold your head and do your thing as you do. But we're gonna keep it cooking on this episode of the Soup, Lord. We can't get the soup fully unless we gotta have our Diddy.
Ooh.
Gotta have our Diddy segment on the jump off. So in this week's, your man Day and Night came in and had to get on the stand one time. You know who I'm referring to when I say Day and Night?
LB, you gotta be talking about LB, sure.
Oh, that's not LB. Close. Kid Cudi.
Oh, Cuddy, yeah, okay. Day and night. Okay, I'm thinking night and day.
It's all good.
Same realm, yeah.
I know you don't have Kid Cudi in your collection. I ain't mad at you
especially after you wore that dress on Saturday Night Live.
I ain't mad at you that you didn't get the reference, but yeah. So Day and Night jumped on the stand this week and has some testimony to talk about Puff. Did you get in?
I got a lot of that. Yeah,
man. The moral of the story is just listening and seeing what's been said. The racketeering and the sex trafficking, I think that's light. Domestic violence, drug abuse. What else are you hearing when you hear these testimonies and they're telling the stories? What do you think?
I'm not hearing anything regarding the charges. It's what I'm not hearing, which is the issue. I'm hearing that Puff is like some type of Marvel supervillain because he can end up somewhere and at one time and end up in somebody's house waiting for him next. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you here? How did you get here? What is going on? Did you just get beamed here? Why is my dog locked in the bathroom? Did you open my children's gifts? I'm waiting on you, Playboy. I'm waiting on you. Like, how did he get there? So again, a lot of these maybe breaking and entering, a lot of this stuff it doesn't seem like felonies. Like, it just seems minor, not minor, because supposedly he blew up Kid Cudi's car. But is there any proof of that?
No, I don't. Yeah, unless they caught him coming out.
Caught him with the dynamite.
With the Molotov cocktails.
Yeah. I think the prosecution doesn't have enough of actual laws being broken. Like, you charged him with a bunch of things that aren't being testified. Did you see Cat Williams is on the stand also? Or were you going to get to that?
What?
Yeah, they had Cat Williams on the stand, and he went on a whole diatribe about Hollywood and about
fuck out of here.
Yeah, man.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, but again, it was more of a character assassination, and of course, there could be truths in it, but the law, where is the breaking of the laws? And I think that's how he's going to end up getting off, man.
So let's check out the reporting on Day and Night real quick, and then we'll come.
As Sean Diddy Combs' trial on sex trafficking and racketeering charges continues in New York, even more bombshells came out during week 2, including harrowing testimony from rapper Kid Cudi. A former pal of Combs' ex, Cassie Ventura, testified May 19th that she personally witnessed Combs physically abusing Ventura while they were vacationing in Jamaica and again at a house he was renting in the Hollywood Hills. Carrie Morgan also testified that her 17-year friendship with Ventura ended after Combs attacked her at Ventura's apartment in 2018. She was there listening to music, Morgan said per NBC News, when Combs came up behind me and choked me and left finger marks on my neck and hit me in the head with a wooden hanger. Cassie was in the bathroom.
Yeah, I think that's a note that you need to get up out of there if he choking you and beating you over the head with a wooden hanger. Oh, more wire hanger.
And then the abuse part of it, yeah, that's, if it's proven, he should go get underneath the jail and never come out. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get out of there if you're getting beat like that.
Under cross-examination by defense attorney Mark Agnifilo, Morgan said she stopped speaking with Ventura because the singer was not supportive of her after the 2018 incident, adding,
Now listen, she says that they stopped talking because Cassie was telling her, no, he ain't beat you over the head. You imagining stuff, but that's me. But
Right.
she like, whatever. Either are we gonna be friends or not? Yeah, he might have beat you over the head with a hanger, but are we still cool?
I draw my line at physical abuse. Combs' former assistant, David James, shared insight into Combs' travel bag during his testimony, including 25 to 30 pill bottles. He said that among the pills were some with former President Barack Obama's face on them, according to court transcripts.
Now, that's the weirdest shit I heard.
The Flintstone vitamins?
The part about they said that they had the face of the real big homie on the joint, fam.
You sent me that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was weird, man.
That's out of control. Why I want to take some pills that look like Barry, that look like the real big homie, fam. I don't want to take any pills that look like that, man.
As a youth, I didn't want to bite Fred's head off, but you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. My grandmother give me the Flintstones. I'm like, come on, mama. I like Fred Flintstone, man. Eat them anyway. You need some vitamins in your life.
Nutrients.
You need the nutrients, right? Yeah. Iacin and niacins in your life, man.
All right, come on, man. But yeah, the case is getting crazier and crazier because the whole ecstasy pills looking like Barack is
crazy.
It's beyond crazy. Again, I don't see the racketeering and sex trafficking.
I see a lot of domestic abuse.
Exactly.
That's what I see a lot of. But
it's a whole lot of stuff. Puff is a wild cowboy, and we got a lot more to get under from this trial. So we're gonna leave Puff over there right now, and then Lord, let's move into the dirty. We're gonna wrap the show with the dirty. So you see these boys down in New Orleans who pulled a run for it. They fugitives. They did what was my man's name? Richard Kimball. They pulled a Richard Kimball one time, the fugitive. Check this shit out.
An urgent manhunt is still underway in the South after several inmates escaped from a Louisiana jail. The jailbreak shows the inmates running out of the jail and jumping down. See right there. 7 of the 10 fugitives have been able to stay ahead of that manhunt for 4 days. Now, the Louisiana governor says there is no excuse for the failure at the jail that allowed violent criminals on the streets. ABC's Faith Abube has the latest.
A high-stakes manhunt underway for 7 inmates considered armed and dangerous, caught on this surveillance video breaking out of a New Orleans jail.
These are violent criminals, and they escaped.
Authorities say a total of 10 inmates busted out of the Orleans Parish facility in the early hours of Friday, taking advantage of defective locks on multiple jail cells. Stunning photos showing the getaway path, a hole behind the toilet with the too easy LOL.
The failure,
they forgot a O.
Jail system should never have happened.
The inmates were on the run for at least 7 hours before jail employees realized they were gone. Officials taking even longer to notify the public.
One of the escaped inmates captured right here in the French Quarter, the busiest and most important tourist hub here in New Orleans. It's only about 2 miles from that jail.
Only 3 of the 10 fugitives have been recaptured. An internal investigation underway at the jail after the sheriff said her own employees may have helped in the stunning jailbreak.
Whoa.
We think this was intentional. There is much more than meets the eye.
And again, Stephanie, we're now in the 4th day of the...
It has been more than a week since the infamous jailbreak at the Orleans Justice Center. 5 inmates have been caught and 5 others remain on the run. And while investigators continue to search across the New Orleans metro to find them, they're arresting several people for allegedly helping these inmates after the escape. Good evening and thanks so much for watching. I'm Whitney Miller. Tonight, 2 more alleged accomplices are facing charges, and that brings the total number to at least 9, and we're learning more about their cases. Our Rachel Hanley starts tonight's coverage.
Yeah, 9 days out, the number of escaped inmates arrested is standing still, but the number of people arrested because they're suspected of helping them keeps going up. Saturday, we found out 2 more people had been arrested on accomplice charges. Lenton Van Buren Sr. was arrested Friday. His relationship to Lenton Van Buren Jr., one of the escapees, is still unconfirmed. Angel McKee was also arrested Friday. She and Van Buren Sr. are charged with being accessories after the fact. At a hearing today, their bonds were set at around $1 million each. Other people were at that hearing too. One was Emmett Weber. The NOPD shared these pictures of officers entering a home in New Orleans East Friday. 4 people in the home were suspected of helping the inmates, but Weber was the only one they ended up arresting. His bond is $1 million too. The other was someone who's accused of helping the inmates from the inside. Trayvon Williams was already in jail. Now he's facing 10 new counts of principal to simple escape. Our partners at NOLA.com say he's accused of giving inmates a blanket and a shirt, and then they used those to scale a razor wire fence during their escape.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. Before we build on it, let me show you this one right here, Lord. This one right here is wild as hell. All right, check this shit out. My man, fuck it. I'm tired. I'm going to the bus stop.
Wow.
Back to your cell, huh?
Man, I just was by this man.
It is day 9 of the manhunt for.
So that was one of the cats.
He got tired, huh?
Escape. This nigga like, yo.
It's a wrap.
Let me get this couple minutes. I'm only gonna close my eyes for 5 minutes.
Thought he was. He said, "Let me get this short nap in. I'm gonna close my eyes for 5 minutes." He wake up with the police standing over him. Yo, oh my goodness, man.
Yo, fam.
Oh.
Yo, peace to those whiz kids and players on their team.
Man, he said, "Let me get this short in."
You already know how it is. You need that nap, fam.
And it turned into a whole slumber. The only way you wake up is because your neighbor muffler is loud. You like, hold up. Mr. Johnson going to work already? What time is it? Yeah, man. But yo, why your man was running out the jail, right? With his blankie, man.
Shit, he had his joint so he could put it over them razors.
He gotta cover these razors up, B. I ain't trying to get scarred up, man.
Yo.
Oh my goodness.
Yo, fam.
Oh my goodness.
Then the niggas left a note. They left a note up there. It was too easy.
Too easy. And you could tell they was inmates because the grammar was wrong. They was missing an O. It's T-O-O easy, fam. It ain't 2. I'm surprised they ain't put the number 2 on the joint.
Oh,
you in jail all that time. You still ain't got your grammar right, man. You ain't reading no books or nothing, man. Come on, man. Unbelievable. And they scattered out of the joint. They all tripping over each other, man. They probably was laughing at why they was running.
Yo, son, you got me in tears over here.
Oh, my goodness.
Yo, B. First of all, what the fuck was the plan? You know what I'm saying? It's like, we just gonna skate. We just gonna make a fucking run for it. Niggas didn't even get out of New Orleans.
You ain't had nobody to come pick you up, yo? You just out there running? What you thought you was gonna run across state lines? They was gone for 7 hours and they only made it, one of them only made it to the bus stop to lay down.
Andy Dufresne and shit.
Come on, man. Shawshank, man.
Man, listen, B. That's crazy. But them niggas was facing some real time. Not saying that's a good reason to try to run, but them niggas was like double murders type of shit like that. That's what type of shit they had, man. Yo, I gotta have some type of plan other than let's break out.
And they felt like, why not take a shot? We gonna be in here anyway forever. They ain't gonna do nothing but put us back in here if they catch us forever. So
listen, B, do not call me though.
No, don't implicate me in that.
Do not call my crib and the shit don't say a call from a correctional facility. No. You know what I'm saying? If it don't say that, man, do not call my horn, man.
Don't put me in that.
Talk about, yo, can you call me an Uber?
Where you at? I don't know. I've been running for 7 hours in circles. I'm at the bus stop right now. I'm about to lay down for a minute.
Yo, that nigga Crocs looked like he had been right.
He got on Crocs.
Oh shit.
The holes in the Crocs thing got bigger. He was walking around so much in them joints. He had to lay down. He was like, man, just let me get this one little. You remember when you used to wake up for school and you want to just get that one little shut eye a little bit?
Wake up on snooze and shit. This nigga didn't have no snooze and shit.
Nah, man. He ain't had no snooze button. That's why he got caught.
Man, he was ready to go. He like, man, fuck it. I'm about to lay down at the bus stop.
He probably was like, man, I miss my commissary. Come get me. Come get me. I miss my ramen, man. It's cold out here.
It's wild out here in these streets. This nigga didn't go behind the building nowhere and lay down.
Man, come on. He went out and he on the corner of Bailey and Tennessee at the bus stop in front of the McDonald's. He just sleep. Man, with his outfit, with his jail joint on. He in orange and Crocs.
Oh my God.
That man's socks probably was hard. He been running 7 hours in some Crocs and some tube socks.
Yo.
Oh my goodness. He probably was dreaming about count times. Oh my goodness. I gotta get counted. Wait a minute, I'm asleep.
Yo, that shit crazy, man. These niggas costing their parents freedom and shit.
Come on, man. Implicating their peoples.
Oh, do not fucking call me with that bullshit, man. After I hang up, I'm changing my number.
Yeah, exactly. Block that man. Block the facility.
All right, Lord. This was a hell of a soup, man. You got me on TV crying and shit, man.
Good, man. You know how we do. This is just normal for us. We just happen to be on the pod. Talk about this anyway. That's what we do.
But said, Lord, you already know what we need. So what you got for us before we wrap?
Listen to my people out there. People with this nasty attitudes, man. You can't be nasty and needy at the same time. There's consequences to treating people like trash. That means when you break out of jail, don't call my crib, man. Acting all nasty. Talk about come get me. I'm not coming out there, man. I'm not coming. Don't implicate me in your trash. That's a man of a certain age right there.
And that is one to grow on. And as
get it.
always, it's the same old soup. We just reheating it. Knicks get a W tonight, man.
Let's get it, man. Knicks in 7. Peace.
All right, Lord.